Hi guys, Jess Medina here. Welcome one more time. I want to share today the things that have been going through my mind through these times. I don't want to keep focusing on this, but really these are uncertain times. And yesterday I was in a very reflective mode and I just kept wondering what's happening, as I'm sure we all are. And I kept, trying to stay calm and not really like focus on the bad things, but at the same time just really ask the question, what's happening? And I think the reason why this situation that we're going through right now as a collective is so crazy is because we are uncertain of what's going to happen. There are other diseases, there are other situations where we just know the disease. Maybe it's a little bit out of control, but we know what to do about it. We know what medicine to use. Even with cancer, right? Like even though we don't have a cure for cancer, we have done enough research where we feel comfortable, like things are being done about it. There are activists, there are things happening towards that. With this new thing, we are all uncertain. And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about my life because I am the kind of person that have been through times where things were certain and times where like I had no clue what was going to happen with my life. When I was in the corporate world, before I became an entrepreneur, I had some certainty, right? Like for years I had, I had a secure job, I had a steady paycheck, I was doing the things that I love, and I was comfortable, okay? And the reason why I was thinking about this is because when I look back, now that I'm an entrepreneur, when I look back to those times, I realized that even though I was certain or I was safe, I was comfortable, I wasn't really doing what I truly loved. I didn't feel the fulfillment that I now feel. But in those times when I was comfortable, I didn't know the difference. So I didn't know I was missing out. It felt like something was missing, but I didn't know what it was because I never asked myself the question because I was comfortable. It took for, a time of uncertainty and craziness to come to my life and shake me for me to start exploring and asking questions and realizing that ultimately that is not the life that I wanted. That even though I had something that maybe other people wanted or craved, I was a young executive. A lot of people think that that's the definition of success. For me, I knew that I wanted to do more. I knew that I, for one, wanted to create something of my own. I wanted to create change and impact in the world. I wanted to create a business that did more than just transactions. I wanted to really create a social enterprise, something that would give back to people. And so I always knew I was going to do this. I always knew I was going to travel the world and speak. I always knew I was going to do all these things, but I didn't know how. And I had gotten to a place in my life where I was so comfortable where I was that I almost forgot. It was there. It was in the back of my mind. I didn't feel 100% fulfilled, but I kind of forgot. And the question then was, as I was thinking about this yesterday, what have we forgotten as a society? What is it that's making us so comfortable that we're not asking the bigger questions? What are the things that we have been focusing on that maybe weren't that important? The things that we're fighting about, the things, the bipartisan arguments and politics and borders and, all these petty issues that we fight about, that now that we're going through these crazy times, maybe are not as essential. We had literally forgotten about these things. Like I literally forgot about, all the debates going on and politics of things. And I feel like we are all so focused now on this thing that's shaking the world, and we're so focused as humankind, to solve this problem. And every time that we have encountered, crazy times as a society and as a country and as a world, we are able to come together and to forget these things that don't matter as much, and we are able to find solutions together. And the reason why we can do that is because we become uncomfortable. We start asking ourselves, what's the big question? The beauty of these times is that we have an opportunity. We have the opportunity to ask questions. We have the opportunity to be How beautiful is it that despite all the craziness happening, we have an opportunity, I think for first time in history maybe, or for many years at least, in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this, where we get to stay home, we get to have our kids home, or we get to be at home, or we get to work from home. We get to just to be. We get to be and not do, run, and all these ideas, and what's this Instagrammer doing, and what's that person doing, what's his business doing, how can I start this business, how can I copy that business, how can I do what she's doing. Just stop. We get to be. We get to ask the real important, difficult questions. We get to look within ourselves, and we get to think. We get to explore. We get to wonder. The beauty of uncertainty is that we get to wonder. We get to, ask these difficult questions, and we get to imagine and dream of the possibilities. What opportunity is coming from this? What is the opportunity that I have here? And as I was thinking about this, I realized that uncertainty sparks creativity. And creativity is creating something that's not there yet. Creativity is not doing something that someone else is doing. It's not copying something. It's creating from scratch. So this is a great chance to ask ourselves, what can I create? What can I make that's different? What is the opportunity here for me? What is something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, but I haven't yet? Because I was so busy with the grind, with the go all the time. What do we get to do now that we have a few extra hours, that we have extra time? And we have to look within, and we have to be honest with ourselves. We cannot go and see what somebody else is doing. We have to look within ourselves. We have to think about the life that we want to lead. Talk about the things that we want to talk about. Truthfully, I like talking about these things. Do I talk about these things all the time? No, because I've been busy running a business, right? So I get to do this in my case. In my case, I get to share these things with you. I get to share my thoughts. I get to share my reflections. And these are things that I love doing and that I get to do. So what do you get to do from this? What do you get to create because of this situation that we're all in? So anyway, so then I started reading about uncertainty. And I was reading that uncertainty is one of the scariest things for our brain. The human brain does not like uncertainty. The human brain wants to know, even if there is a problem, we would rather know the problem, we would rather know something horrible, what's going to happen, than not know, than be uncertain. Oh, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. We hate that. We'd rather know you're going to die, basically, than like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. So I found that there was a study in 2016 where a group of people, or a group of scientists put a group of people, somewhere, they took them to a lab or whatever, and some people knew that they were going to get an electric shock, and some people were told that maybe there were 50% chances of them getting an electric shock. And then they were, just looking into their brains, and the people that knew for a fact that they were getting an electric shock were a lot calmer. They were not anxious. They were a lot healthier. Their brain was a lot better than the ones that knew. The ones that knew for a fact that they were going to get an electric shock, they were calmer. And the ones that didn't know for sure, they were anxious, they were stressed, and their brain was just going crazy. So think about that. Like, for a fact you're going to get an electric shock, and yet you're calmer than someone else. That 50-50 chances, right? So we want to know. We want to know what's going to happen. And because we want to know and we want certainty, sometimes we go crazy, right? We do things that will make us feel somehow like we have certainty or we can control something, right? So, for example, this virus hit, and then everybody goes and buys toilet paper and food, even though there is not a need or scarcity for food or toilet paper at the time and anything like that, right? Because that could be controlled. That people could control. They could go to the store and buy things. They couldn't buy their health. They couldn't prevent necessarily or secure what's going to happen with this virus, but they could do this. It's that need to control. Now, two things can happen during uncertainty. We can ask important questions and we can decide to create from a good place, from a place of, creativity and openness. Or we can freak out, right? Like the people in the study, and we can do crazy things and we can, take crazy action. And that's again from a need and a fear to keep doing. Stop for a second. I invite you to just be. I invite you to create from within. I invite you to stay quiet. I invite you to stop watching the news at least for a day and just be and ask yourself, what is it? What is it that I need to create? What is it that I want to do? And sometimes you don't even need to ask. Sometimes just being, it comes to you. Uncertainty sparks creativity. This is the thing that kept coming to me. Uncertainty sparks creativity. These are the times where instead of trying to find solutions that make sense, because when we know what the problem is, we try to find solutions, right? You have a business, you know what to do. Oh, I gotta sell, I gotta do this, I gotta do marketing, I gotta do this campaign, blah, blah, blah. This is all crazy now. Now we don't know what's happening. This is all new to us. So our tendency is like, oh, well, I gotta pivot. I gotta do all these other things then, right? I gotta go digital, or I gotta do this or that or that. Before you do that, ask yourself, what is it exactly that I need to do? Because there are many ways to go digital. There are many ways to do your business. So I'm not saying close your business down, but I'm saying ask yourself, in this specific opportunity and situation, how will I create from an authentic place? What is the opportunity that's here for me? What's the opportunity that's here for me to create? What's going to be my opportunity? I invite you to do that. I invite you to think differently, to be resilient, and to see these obstacles as opportunities. Uncertainty puts us in a place of creation instead of a place of repetition, instead of a place of problem solving, instead of a place of let me do this and this and this and this and that, and always going and going and going. This is a chance for us to be. This is a chance for us to reevaluate what we've been doing and what we've been focusing on. And not just in your business, but in your life. Politically speaking, as a society, as a human being, how have we been treating nature? How have we been treating animals? How have we been treating ourselves and our peers? This is a chance for all of us to hit the reset button, to realize that in these times of uncertainty and despair, the things that truly matter are our health, our well-being, our connections, our friends and family, and really that we're all human, that we're all equal, that our lives matter, that all of us matter. So I invite you to take a time to just be, and to explore the possibilities, to explore what creativity is going to be sparked by the uncertainty that we're facing today. That's all for right now. Besos.